Good morning, everyone. Getting a late start here because I forgot I needed milk replacer yesterday, so had to run and get it this morning before I could feed little Miss Skittles here. I mean, she's probably old enough to wean, but I'd like to go probably through one more bag before I do. She don't think she's old enough yet, but you know, I think she is. There's old Butch there. He's all fuzzy. But yeah. Oh, well, I don't have much on my mind this morning. There's not much new happening. Just, kind of waiting to see what happens. See what I get into this morning, today. So, yeah, I'm probably going to cut this video off right here for now. And then get this little nut fed. Go get me fed. And figure out what I'm going to do for the day. Okay. I'm back. Ready or not. Coming from me from the backyard here at the not so little house on the prairie. Some things on my mind, as usual. First of all, I guess we're not out of the woods on the railroad strike quite yet. They vote on Thursday, the 24th of September, which is kind of interesting. It may just be a coincidence. I do not know. But that's also the day that the German politician, let's say, spoke to the German Congress. Me being uneducated on German government, we'll just leave it at that. So, he said that September 24th, 2022 will be a day we will all remember where we were at. I mean, and that, brings up images of the death of Kennedy, the space shuttle blowing up, 9/11, one of our more recent ones. A lot of people are saying he misspoke. I don't know. I have no idea. But when someone says that, that kind of gets my attention because, I have trouble remembering what I had for breakfast this morning. And, it's not quite noon yet. So, if it's something that's going to stick in my memory, like 9/11, then that's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. And, other people say, no, he meant this date or that date or, I don't know. But just kind of makes my spidey sense tingle a little bit that he said that a few weeks ago. I don't know if you could hear that. Them pigs are fighting. They're still trying to figure out who's the boss out there. But, and you can see him right here over my shoulder. Anyway, this guy says September 24th is going to be a big deal this year. And then we got the vote on the railroad strike. On whether or not to strike. It's up to the rank and file railroad workers at this point. And I'm hearing some talk that they're not entirely satisfied with what they got. They got a 24% raise over 5 years, which is pretty nice. And there's some other things with like time off and things that they still want, but we'll see I mean, nothing you can do about it one way or another other than just be prepared for it. And, if you go out and buy a few extra groceries, well, then you have them. And I would advise everybody to start stocking. Just be stocked up, at least, a week's worth of food. Because I kind of do. I don't. Rhonda does it, and I really don't know what her thought process is. We haven't talked about it. We just are on the same page that we need to have food in the house and not be running to the grocery store every day to buy that evening's meal. And I think we're good for a while. Like I've said, we may get tired of eating eggs and pork, but we will eat. And we're not as prepared as I would like to be. But anyway, point there is that the possible strike is still possible. Don't know. But, and it says a lot, and I've said this in another video, that it says a lot about our supply chain system, that it's that fragile. I heard a quote from one of the railroad workers that said, we got a lot of leverage right now. And they do. They really do. I mean, with all the supply chain disruptions we've already had, and, I mentioned in yesterday's video about Walmart is warning customers now to expect, not look for, but expect even more shortages and limits on how many of a product you can buy. So you might want to start, when you go grocery shopping, buy an extra can or something, extra bag of beans, whatever, Okay, well, I guess that's enough about railroad strike. And I think you might see a theme here. I mean, and the theme is, you need to start preparing for things. I know the current president has issued an executive order, which I don't like. I don't like executive orders. I don't care who does them. They should be rare. One man should not be making decisions for all of us. Our elected officials are supposed to do that. That's our representative republic. But anyway, he's issued this executive order, and the way I understand it right now, he's supposed to set up some kind of committee to explore a digital currency, changing for us from the dollar to digital currency. That's not good. It's not good at all. And there's a bunch of countries, some have already done it, some are in the process of doing it, some are like us, they're looking at it. Folks, this puts complete control of your money in the hands of central banks, the large banks, and the government. And then, the bank may become the government. Because we know how people can be. Politicians want power, they want glory, and they want to at least feel like they're in control of things. So, if we go to central or to this digital currency, They will know everything you do, where you spend your money, you know, what you're buying, what you're doing. And we've turned over so much control already, and I'm guilty. This phone right here, I'm recording this stuff on. You know, the government can tap into that at any time they choose to. So that's something we need to be. I don't know. I've always been one to write letters to our elected officials, make phone calls, and I always suggest that to people. And I think it's still a valuable tool. Because if there are a few, or if there are enough, I guess, of our elected officials, elected being in quotations here, that are trustworthy and do have the people's best interest in mind, then maybe we can slow it down. Or, you know, first step is to slow it down. It's like driving your car. You got to slow it down before you can stop it. So, you know, that's what we need to be looking at. You know, that makes me a bit nervous. You know, the government does not need to track everything you do, where you get your money, how you spend your money. I mean, they already get a big chunk of it. I don't know what the statistics are, but you know, have you ever stopped and thought about the taxes you pay? You got your federal income tax, your state income tax. Then you got your state sales tax, your county sales tax, your city sales tax, Social Security. That's Tax. You know, in theory you get it back, but still, you're forced to pay that. I mean, there's federal taxes you have to pay on certain things. It's crazy, you know, but they don't have enough money. You know, it's all mismanaged. But this digital currency, we need to do everything we can to stop it. You know, write your senator, write your congressman, you know, your state governor. The states can do a lot. Your local, your state rep, your state senator, just anybody that's in government. You know, this needs to not happen. You know, and I'm sure you've heard of this. I have too. I've been hearing it for a long time. I've not talked about it a whole lot. I think I probably mentioned it in passing, but the Great Reset. You know, the World Economic Forum. This is something. It's real. It's happening, and we don't care. Generally, as a society, we don't care. But, and here's another thing. I studied a little bit of history. Now, I wish everyone would take this piece of advice here and go back and study Roman history. A general study from the rise to the fall. And take a good look at it. Because we're following that exact track. I mean, it's I think the timing is different. I think we're moving faster than they did. You know, because that's our society. We do everything faster anymore. But I mean, it's pretty pretty simple. Uh, and I'm just about to the point to thinking that it's time. Yeah, they're at it again. It's time to maybe start a parallel economic system where, you know, guys like you and me, guys being generic term there, I guess people, just us regular people, go back to kind of the way it was, barter. You know, I got a pig, I'll trade you this pig for fixing my truck, or I'll trade you 10 pounds of pork for fixing my truck. Do an oil change for me, I'll give you 2 dozen eggs. You know, just, you know, you can come up with all the examples you want. You know, my neighbors are good gardeners, good people too. You know, maybe I trade them a dozen eggs for a jar of canned green beans. So, you know, just throwing things out there, things like that. And I think that would, number one, it'd take a lot of control from the government. And I think, as I'm talking here, this just occurred to me, that this may be what they're afraid of, and that this is what's behind wanting the gardens registered, the U.S. Department of Agriculture. If you missed that video, go find it. Go look it up on their website. And I think all you would have to do is use your favorite search engine and look up USDA, The People's Garden. Yep. And like I said in that video, I hear the people's anything, I immediately start thinking communist China. You know, the People's Republic. And it's got nothing to do with helping the people. Usually it's the opposite of helping. But anyway, check that out. But I think that's why they want to know where these gardens are all of a sudden. And it may not be all of a sudden. And I know that's not the story they're going to tell. The story is going to be, we want to be able to tell people where they can come and find you so they can get the nutritious food that you have available, which is partially true. You know, we're facing shortages, and then the government just put out, hey, there's this community garden over here, it's 1,000 square feet, and this is what they've got, and go there and you can get some food. And that means your people who haven't prepared, haven't put in the effort to grow that food, they know where to go get it. You know, the ones that don't want to do the work, they can go take it from you. So, anyway, I think it's time to bring back bartering. So, hone your skills. It happened a lot in the first half of this country's life. And then I would say after World War II, so that would be over the first half of life. We started the Industrial Revolution. It started before that, yes. It started in the late 1800s, but it really escalated in the 50s. You know, and then we got to the point where we're at now, and here's another interesting thought I just had. For most of my life, I'm 57 now, but for most of my life, college has been promoted to kids. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. You got to go to college. And there's nothing wrong with college to better yourself. And I'm not going to get into what actually happens at a lot of colleges now, but I'm wondering right now, because these people, that most of them that have been to college, they have that one skill set, whether it's an accountant or business executive, whatever. They have one skill set. They don't know how to work on their car. They don't know how to fix a tractor. They don't know how to raise a pig. They don't know how to, get eggs. It's go to the store and get it. And these are intelligent people, I would assume. If you can go to college and get a degree, I'm going to assume you're intelligent. But they don't know basic skills, And if they ever know them, they've forgotten them. So, is that part of the deal? I know a lot of this stuff's been going on for decades. And I don't know, to me it's kind of scary. But these are things we need to be looking out for. Like I said, immediately the railroad strike, possibility of a railroad strike. This executive order, the executive order itself isn't a real big deal, other than we seem to have become a monkey see, monkey do country. Oh, well, they're doing it, we need to do it. No. No. So this digital currency stuff, we don't need to do that. We don't need that. I think we need to stay a cash society. Yes, the United States dollar is collapsing, and it may not be any good. But if it's good, inside our country, then the others will have to either accept it or not, and not do business with us. And I still believe, that the United States of America can survive on its own. We have enough oil. We have enough land for farming. We just have to take a few steps back on the farming. Get more people involved. Get it a better mix, of what is farmed. We did it before. We can do it again. And I think, too, there's enough independent-minded people in this country that we can do this. And it has taken decades. From the founding of this country to today, there have always been people that, even at the start, we had people that wanted a monarchy, wanted George Washington to be the first king. And fortunately, our founding fathers said, no, we're not going to do that. So I have hope. There is hope that, if there's enough of us that are like-minded, that can just go about our business and live. And that's the thing right now. We've gotten so wound up in consumerism and things, and that's one of the problems with capitalism. It's not a perfect system, but it is a better system than all the others. But we've gotten so wound up in having stuff. I gotta have the newest car with all the stuff on it, everything. I need a seat warmer because I don't want my butt to get cold in the winter. No, you don't. Your butt will warm that seat up reasonably quick. I need the newest cell phone. No, not really. If for some reason the cell phone system went down tomorrow, Now you're not going to see me on YouTube anymore, but I'll be just fine without this smartphone right here. You know, it'll take a little adjustment getting back to it, but I'll be just fine. I'll live. It's not going to kill me, or will it kill anyone else? Now, there is risk involved in that, yep. But we don't need it. People lived for thousands of years without a smartphone, or any phone at all for that matter. You know, just some things on my mind today that I wish would be on more people's minds, and then maybe we could come up with some better solutions than what we're getting. And I know lately, and I've been trying to get away from this type of video, but this is what's on my mind. And I'm looking for the proper term here for me. It's a little disconcerting for me what's going on in the world right now. Plymouth colony, you know, they're at Plymouth Rock when the Pilgrims landed. They tried communism. Didn't work. You know. So we got that out of the way pretty early, but here we're dragging it back up. And like I said, people still want this for some reason and have had. And here's the big problem with communism, socialism, all of that, is we as people do not want to be equal. We can talk about being equal, but we don't want it really. You know, everybody wants to be a little better than their neighbor. You know, have nicer things and have a little bit more money. And that's people. We're animals. And we got to remember that. That's why communism, socialism doesn't work. Because you've always, there's these two extremes that cause the problem. You got the leadership, let's say, and it usually gets corrupted because we're people. We want more than we have. And then you got the bottom that, and I mean the ones who will not do anything. They want just as much as the guy that's putting in 80, 120 hours a week on his job. These guys that are doing nothing think they deserve what he's getting just because they can breathe. And those are your two problems with socialism and communism. The corruption and the complete laziness. And that kills it every time. Yeah, and you know, it'll put everybody on equal. Nobody will be better than anybody else. Okay, first of all, nobody's better than anybody else anyway. We're all animals. And if you don't believe that, go down to your local buffet and watch people eat. You know, and watch how people get upset because they can't get something they wanted, but somebody else got it. I mean, you see it everywhere. And then watch these pigs eat. I mean, it's crazy how similar us people are to those pigs. And I'm going to stop this video and clear up some space on my phone. So, think about that. Just think about it. Just think, people. Look at what's going on around you and think about it. Okay, I got my memory problem solved there. On my phone's memory problem, not my memory problem. I'm not sure there's a cure for my memory problem. Anyway, you know, as I was saying, people, human beings, we're, even with all the advanced things that we can do, language, building things, opposable thumbs, we're still just animals, and it's obvious. So there's there's nothing else to say on that topic. It is what it is. We're a more advanced animal, but we're animals. I mean, uh, so I got to thinking about all of this stuff I've already talked about. I've been thinking about, and I already had the title for this. There's a, I think it happens on that TikTok and on the little reels on Facebook, and probably YouTube shorts too. There's this thing they call "What Would You Do?" And it's usually somebody throwing a door open and said, "If I broke into your house, what would you do?" You don't want to know what I'd do, all right? But anyway, so I want to apply that to what's going on in the world everywhere. It's a question. Leave me a comment down below. Don't be a rude jerk or anything. Just it's a topic for discussion. What would you do if everything collapsed? The government, financial systems, everything collapsed. What would you do? I know what a lot of people would do is just die. I mean, starvation, dehydration. Most of our water comes to us in pipes from somewhere else. I grew up on a well. The sweetest water, believe it or not. I mean, and cold water. Just you let it run for a minute, and that's some cold water. But you can see things floating in it. I think it was mostly limestone. But so mom and dad went on rural water, they call it. It's just water piped to you from somewhere else. But if everything fails, what would you do? I mean, now, here's what I honestly believe. If everything were to fail, it won't take us back to the Stone Age and we've got to start all over again. It's going to take us back 100 years or more, But a lot of the infrastructure is still here, and things could be rebuilt a lot quicker, than what it was built in the first place. Now, what does quicker mean? I don't know. Would it take us a year to get the electric back up? Everything rotates around electricity in this country. Electricity and oil. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can make ethanol, but we need electricity. I mean, but we have the knowledge, and if we can just get pockets back up, it'll be a relatively fast recovery. But in the meantime, what would you do? I don't think we would go full-blown Mad Max. They call it Mad Max, but well, yeah. Anyway, you understand what I mean. Food for thought. Leave me some comments. I've been tinkering with the idea of going live. I got to get on StreamYard and find out how that works. So maybe one of these days we'll do that. And I got to figure out. I'm technologically challenged. you know. So, anyway, I guess this video has gone on long enough. So, like I said, leave me a comment what you think. I don't care what it doesn't have to be about the question I ask about what would you do. You know, what where do you think we're headed? I mean, am I overly pessimistic on this? I don't know. You know I'm not as bad as a lot of people I hear, but I know we're in for some tough times, no matter what happens. So, having said that, that makes these next 3 phrases that I end most of my videos with even more important. Let's look out for each other. Let's help each other out when we can, and let's pray. And I'll catch y'all later.